Hey, it's the Monday morning show here on a Monday, maybe late on a Sunday for you. I'm Ken Napzok, and this is the first official public-facing episode on YouTube. It's been a public-facing show on the podcast feed, the Napzok Network. Now entering our 14th year there in 2026, 14th broadcast season, and this has been and will remain something you can watch on Patreon and YouTube channel members. If things go right, technically, we'll get to see this early. We want to keep you happy. Thank you for your support. For those that don't watch this show often, it's me, Ken Napzok, here, a little quieter. We're sipping, sometimes coffee, water, whiskey, all of it. And we're looking ahead to the week. And I'll share what's going on with me. And outside of maybe some of the news, politics sometimes finds its way in here. Pop culture, silly things, just like everything we do here on the Blathering. I hope you're part of the Blathering community. Watch us live, if you will. But this tends to be a little quieter, more reflective show for me to start my week. And hopefully what I'm going through connects with some of you. 2025 has been a big, amazing year of change for me. And I say amazing to try to put a positive spin on it. It's been tough. Job loss, relationships ending, a lot of stress. My dog not around me, though that's going to change soon. Happy to have Franny back regularly. You'll see her in shows. And I'm trying to face that change in all the right ways. But it is definitely, it's been tough. And all through this year, there's been a lot of choices in front of me. And as we talk about over in Force Center, when we're discussing all the Star Wars stuff or anything in pop culture, big myths, modern movie myths, like that kind of stuff, destiny is what takes you to the next choice. Destiny does not have you on rails. And I love looking at things that way. I also think when it comes to maybe spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs, whatever you want to plug into that, I'm going to leave it wide open for all of you to decide. I think it kind of works in the same way, even though there might be this like God knows and God has a plan and God's timing. I can still understand that and accept it. I'm not saying I'm refuting that. This, isn't some, I'm not a theologian here to toss that aside. I don't have the skills there. I don't know. God's bigger than I am. If there is a God, right? I talk to something. I say, God to. I go out in my backyard and mumble to myself, and sometimes I hear answers, and maybe it's just a cat hiding in the bushes. I don't know. I like giving the caveats because I want everyone to come to the table today. I want everyone to gather around. But destiny is just what leads you to the next choice, right? That's what Star Wars teaches us. To bring in Yoda again, which we've done a lot lately with the infamous, famous, however you want to look at it, do or do not, there is no try. I think people get hung up on that a lot, right? Yeah, you try. You're going to try. Well, that's the name of the game, try. That's all we can do. Every time we're getting up in the morning, we're trying. But what Yoda's saying, and that philosophy and all the Zen behind it, is to detach yourself from the result. You're either going to succeed or you're not. You remain. We talked about this in a Blathering mailbag a couple weeks ago. You're not defined by your success. My friend Tony commented on that episode, something along the lines of, concentrate on the form, not the result. I think that all works. It really works. But there's a lot of choices, and I've had a lot of choices this year. And to not bore you with the story, but around the springtime, I got word of a possible job. I've been without a job since January, though this is my work. I put so much time into Force Center, this, Anytime, Blathering, Pop Rocket Radio, all the things I do, Hall of Fame Music Radio, comedy. And I love it all. I wish I could get swept up in the algorithm and taken away. Calgon, take me away. YouTube algorithm, take me away. But it hasn't worked that way. But it's something I still enjoy doing. I enjoy doing this show. There's a reason I'm making it public facing. Anyways, I digress. Around the springtime, I got word of a job opportunity, and it wasn't immediate. It was like, would you be up for this? Then it was kind of like a dream job. It was like, whoa, you would give that job to me? Yeah, we'd give this job to you. Oh my gosh, yes, sign me up. Well, it's not right now. Could be later in the year. Could be 2026. It could be in 2 weeks. We just don't know. a lot rests on the decisions of people above me, said my friend. So I was like, all right, keep me in mind. Let's do it. I'm on board. And I check in and check in. And all through the year, that has hung over me. Good and bad. It has hung over me. It's colored a lot of my decisions. Do I pack up my bags? Can I really, truly afford to live here? Can I really afford to even live in LA? Should I just do something else? Should I become a cook? Should I open up a dog kennel, dog walking business? I don't know. But I want to do this. This is what I love. And I want to do it. And I think one of my biggest problems in my career and in my life, and things I talked about here, maybe this connects with you, is the idea that I didn't leave enough blood on the tracks. I've been racked with too much fear. My brain, maybe ADD or ADHD influenced and infused, has not allowed me to focus. And maybe I fix that. Maybe I get that officially looked at. And it's all part of it. But I just kind of feel like, no, I wanted to stay and fight for what I felt could be mine. Not mine like a kingdom, but what I wanted to accomplish. And even the fact that, moving to somewhere less expensive seems like the smart thing to do. But moving is too expensive in this country and in this city where I live. Like, I don't know. And time is running out. And every month I've been unsure of how I'm going to get through things. Through a lot of help, a lot of great surprise little jobs, some surprise help, some Patreon supporters and super chats and very generous donations to the PayPal link. You out there have really been a big support for me, and an increase in revenue from Sports Card ASMR from like $20 to $60. Like we're living. We get through every month, and so it's kind of put me in the spot of like, all right, I'm building for what I hope is this opportunity to come through. Some point in 2025, maybe 2026, I'm going to stay and fight and put hope, not just have blind faith and flowery hope, but hope and believe that opportunity will come through. And I'm going to fight to stay where I am. I'm going to fight for this life, and I'm going to dig in and try. But it's been hard. I've had days where I've had complete mental collapse. And all of September has been a complete mental collapse kind of month. So I decided to do something different. And July was a good month for me mentally into August, but then, you get the sense that time is running out. Money, opportunities, and with each decision you make, you question, obviously, was that the right one? Did that take me down the right path? And am I just careening headlong into a brick wall? And did I do that to myself, right? There's that old, I was going to say proverb. It's probably a meme by now, but the old story, man drowning in the water, ship, boat, a raft. They all come up to him, offer him to save him, and he keeps saying, God's going to save me, God's going to save me. And the boat and the ship and the raft sail on, and he dies, and he gets to heaven. God, why didn't you help me? I sent you a ship, a boat, a raft. We've heard it, joked about it. It makes a lot of sense. But that thing always puts fear into my heart. I got to be honest. Having grown up with that, hearing that in my Christian upbringing, just kind of knowing of that, it has put a lot of fear into me about every decision that I've ever made. What is the right one? What is the wrong one? Is it right to sit and wait? Should you be aggressive? All that stuff. And I've been kind of collapsing mentally in September, and I decided to actually put on the calendar that a day last week was going to be a day where I was going to be proactive, where I wasn't going to hope for a miracle anymore. I was going to seek out. So I wrote former employers. I wrote people who've worked with me. I had a great call with someone who I'm a fan of their channel, and maybe that we could work together down the line and form a friendship and maybe work on things. Wednesday was a good day, and I felt really good. And I reached out to this person who maybe had the answer, the clarity of this big opportunity that still hangs over me. And that's tough because I've been emailing but haven't been really getting the responses. I've been getting some updates, but through other sources and nothing direct. And that's kind of the easy, safe place to be, right? If someone has an answer, but you're hoping for a yes, right? We all want yeses in our life for the most part. Unless you're a Miami Dolphin fan, then you don't want the Buffalo Bills or the Patriots to win, right? But we all want yeses. But sometimes I find in life, the answer, the yes or the no, is right around the corner. All you have to do is one thing, In my case, it was a text, not an email. Because emails aren't really answered these days, right? Like even this week when I was productive and proactive and trying to claim some opportunities as opposed to waiting for them to show up, I haven't got responses yet. I think emails, it's funny. When I was a kid, when I was younger, every day our mail came about 3:00, and about 3:02, I was running out to the mailbox. Who knows, a letter, a postcard, an advertisement, a magazine I ordered, a G.I. Joe figure that I ordered 6 to 8 weeks ago. I loved the mail. And then email shows up and mail becomes the snail mail thing of the past, and it just goes and goes and goes to now I feel email is almost pointless. I appreciate when people respond to emails. And I'll give you 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. I just appreciate the response. I haven't been getting responses for much longer time frames. Maybe that's a different conversation. I don't want to turn into a hack stand-up bit. So I have emailed this person who maybe has some answers for me regarding this job. And I want that yes, but maybe there comes a time where you need that no. I think sometimes the no's are valuable. It's all right, I know where I stand. I know what I'm standing on. And maybe I know which way to go. So all through this year, I've made these really close call decisions on staying to fight for what I want and hoping in the back of my mind that I can get this yes. So I reached out and I texted, because text is a better chance of getting responded to, and it's a little more direct, right? So I'm always patting myself on the back for that. Texted. And I did get a response in a couple of days. And the response wasn't a yes, but more frustrating, oddly, it wasn't a no. It was we're still in the same boat. We'd like you to have this job or this position. It's something that we consider. But it's still not there yet because we're waiting on the decision of one person. And that person has a lot of time. They have a few months to the end of the year to decide. They could decide tomorrow. I could get a call tomorrow. They could decide December 31st at 11:59 p.m. So unfortunately, that's kind of where we're at. But also thinking of you, there's some other things I'd love to bring you in on, but that might not happen till the new year anyway. So because of budgets, blah, blah, blah. I'll update you. And it felt good. It actually felt really good to get that update, right? It felt really good to kind of get a response. So I kind of was like, okay, that's where we are. And this is my big final point and my big question to you. After the adrenaline kind of subsided, it wasn't the yes. I was all right, but I kind of wasn't surprised. But then it hit me. It's not a no. It's a maybe still. And I'm right back to where I was in the spring. With a little less money and a little less time. But now here I am again. And I'm wondering, what voice do I listen to? What parts of my intuition are just that, my intuition, and what is right? And what is truly a cat hiding behind a bush? What is false hope? What is reckless? What is too safe? I could get a yes in 2 months and everything changes. So do I fight to stay where I'm at so I can get that yes? What if it's a no then? What if I fight all this way and it's a no? What if I pull up stakes? That's it. Let's pull up stakes. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's get out of this town. And then maybe if there's a yes, things change. But that doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right in the pit of my stomach. And then I go to that and I walk around my yard. I walk around my block. I go work out, or maybe go to a comedy club to get clear my mind. And then I come back with this. No, I just have this feeling that I want to fight. I want to fight for what's mine. I want to fight. But what decisions are the right one? What voice should I be listening to? This is what's on my mind this week as we head into our shows with the Blathering, Force Center, Sports Card ASMR, Pop Rockin' Radio. Oh, anytime. All the shows I do. And the backdrop is this thought. What is the right voice? What is the right choice? How do I know? What's interesting is I've been in open dialogue with the God of my choice, I'll say as a caveat, but with what I identify as God. Again, I really do mean this. Plug in whatever system of belief you want to put in there. I really don't care. But this is for me. And I learned to breathe, and I learned to just be quiet, and I learned to, and it's not actually, you're not listening for a voice. You're not on a donkey riding into Damascus and a voice and horns are going to come on. That's not the way this is going to be, but it's going to show up in some quieter form that's, I feel, generated from you. But where does that come from, and what is the thought? All those kind of things. By the way, I'm not trying to explain something to you that you all don't understand. This is just also in my head. It's meta. I'm walking around my backyard going, all right. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And then in my head, I hear a voice that says, you know what? Just hold on. Something's going to happen for you in October. It's not like a psychic I'm paying $25 to in an alley. Like, she's not going to send me to the basement of the Alamo. But it's this voice in your head, this intuition. Just hold on. You're acting out of scarcity. You're acting out of fear. You're acting like it's not going to work out. All that kind of energy. Whether there's a God or we're all robots, I don't know. This is what you feel, and you all know what I'm talking about. Am I making the right decision? So I have been having these conversations. I've been asking God, not to give me the result I want, but to give me a direction. Right? So if the answer on that job is no, let's do it. The answer is yes, let's do it. And I put a lot of thought and prayer and meditation and conversation into that this week. And I was a little bummed I didn't get an answer right away and everything. And then I got this answer Friday. And it wasn't yes, it wasn't no. It was like, you're still in the same spot. And is the lesson more patience, more faith? Is the choice to wait? And again, I'm looking for work. I'm doing things. I might deliver food again. That's not the issue. I'm not sitting over here, feet up, living the luxurious life that I've always wanted while waiting for the job. I'm scrapping every day, and I'm tired of scrapping. And a lot of you out there are tired of scrapping. We're scrapping, we're scraping, we're trying so hard. It sucks, and I'm exhausted. I don't want to scrap anymore. I don't necessarily say I want to be a millionaire. I'm just saying I want to know my next bill is covered. And that's harder and harder and harder in 2025. We'll talk about those reasons on an episode of Blathering in the future, but don't need to talk about them here. So my final thought, my final question, my final plea for help is, what do you all do? What are the voices you listen to? I don't care what your belief is. Share them. You pray to God, pray to Buddha, you pray to Iron Man. What's working for you, and how do you know that the choices you made are leading you forward to the next choice, and then that choice is the right one to make, or the one you need to make, or the one you should make? And when you walk around and you get this feeling in the pit of your stomach that says, no, don't overreact, calm down. Is that you watching a raft float away? That's where I'm at this week. So I'm going to try to quiet my mind. I'm going to try to find the right voice. I'm going to try to listen. What are you going to do? Let's get through it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're watching on YouTube on the public side and you like what we discussed here today, give us a like, hype the video, leave a comment. I do want to know from y'all. Tell me, how do you get through? What do you lean on? What are your choices? What's the clarity that you find? If you're listening on the podcast feed, I really appreciate you all. Since I've, kind of opened this up completely to the public, I might do some more additional content on the podcast feed, definitely on Patreon. There's some little changes coming to Patreon too. Nothing that will affect any of you, just some stuff I'm going to add, work with, and play with. Thanks for listening. We'll do it again, shall we? Yeah, we'll do it again, because we're going to get through this week. See you next time. Bye.